It's Eric, back at the Naturopath. Thanks for coming back to my channel. We're still talking about Candida, but this time we're going to talk about supplements, dietary supplements. And I'm going to give you sort of 10 reasons why I think many people are on the wrong track or could be misguided. Let's just start this list and just see what comes out. Number one, taking too many supplements. This is quite common with a lot of people. I think the most amazing one I saw, and I think I wrote about this one in my book, was a lady taking around about the 50 to 60 dietary supplements per day, like different ones. I couldn't believe the regime. It was like literally 3 pages of just supplements she was taking, handfuls and handfuls. It's not uncommon. And we see that with some people. You know, this one's for my calcium, this one's my vitamin D supplement, this is an anti-inflammatory, this one's so I can poop, this one's so I can sleep, this one's so I can, it goes on and on and on. But that's not how you take dietary supplements. That's the wrong way to do it, okay? So taking too much of all kinds of stuff. Second one, you're not researching carefully what you're taking, and it could even come from a non-GMP lab. So GMP is really the good manufacturing procedures. So there are standards in place now for making products, but I still see supplements out there that are being sold through iHerb and various channels that are not really GMP. So they're not really made according to a very high standard. So just be careful, because when you self-prescribe, you don't know what you're buying or what factory it comes from or how it's made, right? The third one is don't use a multivitamin as an excuse for a sloppy or a poor diet. And this is something I've also noticed with some people, particularly people my age, like 50 or 60. They could be drinking too much alcohol, eating poorly, but they take multivitamins every day and fish oils thinking they're going to cover all bases. It's not a good idea. You're far better off eating on a higher level and then supplementing to fill in the gaps, rather than just trying to fill a huge big pothole in with a supplement that's created by all the junk, you know, that you're eating. So always, food is the best medicine. I've always maintained that. Fourth one, I need a calcium supplement because my bones are weak. I need a vitamin D supplement because I'm not spending time in the sun. Or people have these ideas, they need this or they need that based on what they read on Facebook, or, you know, they don't seek professional advice regarding supplements. They don't get any tests done. They just take the supplement because they've been told, you know. Well, if they've been told to jump off a cliff, you think they'd do it? Maybe. So, but what about dairy food? What about aged cheeses? What about almonds? What about leafy greens? What about sardines? What about all the foods that contain calcium? Makes sense. One of the books I enjoyed reading when I was a student, it was called Paleolithic Nutrition, I think it was called. And I remember reading about a graveyard that they uncovered in England when they were putting a major highway through. And this graveyard was from the 1700s, 1800s. What they found was extraordinary is when they started to shift these graves, there goes my water, they found that most of these skeletons had no signs of osteoporosis or any kind of arthritis. So these people obviously they lived on the land. These people basically grew food and consumed food. It's a far cry from today with all of the hip problems that we get and bone breakages and osteoporosis. So, and they didn't take calcium supplements back then. They worked and they ate good food. And that's what we can learn off today, right? So 5, mixing pharma drugs and supplements. This is a no-no, and this is where you need to get a medical advice. You need to get a doctor or someone like me who's trained in that area, particularly in that area of understanding pharmaceutical medications and their interactions with dietary supplements. Because you can imagine the people I've seen over the years, many of them were self-prescribing or taking things. Sometimes several doctors were giving them things, and it was a bit of a mess. So you need to be very careful when you're taking various pharmaceutical medications and you think you can pop pills, you know, from the health food shop here and there. It's not a good idea. You need to get someone on board who can go through that and say, no, I wouldn't do that, or yes, I would do that. So you need the correct advice. And that's point number 6, taking supplements from several healthcare providers. And that's not uncommon. We see that with people. You know, they'll go to this doctor over here, who'll put them on 2 or 3 medications, maybe a Centrum multivitamin, something like that. Then they'll go to this chiropractor who'll put them on, say, CoQ10 or this or that. Then they'll go to a naturopath and they'll get more stuff. Next thing, they're on 10, 15 things, and no one's keeping an eye on what they're taking. So often I would look at all these things and I'd have a whole table full of things from several healthcare providers in front of me. So if healthcare providers are watching this video, you need to talk to your patient about what they're taking from who, and then maybe write some notes or letters saying, well, this is probably clashing, or this is not a good idea. Right? Number 7. What do we got here? Self-prescribing, taking supplements off your own back, not getting any professional advice, and not knowing a endpoint for that supplement. When you take a product, you need to take it for a reason. You don't just take it because it might be good for my bones or whatever. You need to take it for a determined time, and then preferably test or work out if there's still need for that product. If there's no need, you stop it. So the question you may ask of me is, how long do I take XYZ supplement? Answer is, until you no longer have benefit from that product. All right? That's how long you take it for, and it doesn't mean forever. Sometimes it can mean taking it for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but it doesn't always mean forever. Certain supplements, however, you can take for long periods of time without any issue, and that's usually omega-3, for example, or a vitamin C, as an adjunct to, of course, a healthy diet containing plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Is there still a need for vitamin C on top? Yes, there is. Especially if you're very sick, it's always good to take extra. Number 8, have you had any tests done to determine if you need that product? Are you taking something for your gut? Do you have parasites? Do you have a candida problem? Have you had a test to confirm that you've got that? Are you taking it for the right reasons? Are you taking it long enough? Or are you taking it too long? Testing, especially stool testing, will be very good for you here, because if you do a test before you start those products, that's your baseline. And then after that test, take your product. Repeat the test in 3 months or 6 months. Let's just see if you still need that product. You may not need it anymore. Right? So testing will save you time and money. Number 9, you're taking a turmeric supplement, but you're not eating any turmeric. Many people do this. Right? Turmeric's a fantastic spice, and it's a very complicated spice. It contains curcumin, we know that, but it contains many other compounds as well. So if you're going to take a curcumin supplement, I also recommend that what I do is I actually have fresh turmeric. I've got fresh ginger and garlic, so I cook with those all the time. So turmeric powder is very nice to use as part of your curry. So have a look at it, check it out. It's always good to eat turmeric as well as to take it as a supplement. Right? And number 10, what have we got here? Probiotics are not cure-alls for all diseases. Some people think if they've got any kind of gut problem, they'll take a probiotic. I've seen people, naughty people, that I know as patients that drink lots of wine, for example, that take probiotics thinking that it's going to help the gut. But when you're drinking a bottle a day, it's a waste of time taking a probiotic. It really is. It's not going to do much for you. So that's what you've got to think of too. You know, am I trying to take a multi to prop up a crappy diet? Am I taking a probiotic to prop up a crappy gut that keeps getting fueled with my habits? Good question to ask. I hope you got something out of this video. Thanks for tuning in.